My name is Blake Goforth. I'm the Career Services Coordinator here at Shawnee Community College. We're here with Christian Davis of Element Ag. Christian, if you don't mind, just tell us your job title and then kind of what you do in that job role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so my job title is Territory Manager for the Southern Illinois area. So we don't really, I guess, have an area that we have to stay in, but I'm the furthest one south out of the company. So I try to touch a little bit in Kentucky, Missouri, and I've got a guy all the way up in Chester. So
Okay.
cover a pretty decent area. But our main goal at Element Ag is just to kind of go after those guys that are willing to change and do better in their operation. We want to target those forward-looking, forward-focusing guys that, like I said, are willing to kind of break away from the traditional things that they've always done just because grandpa did it or dad did it. So we find more efficient ways to do things, but again, it's kind of against the industry standards. So it's kind of a challenge that we have as well.
Okay. So we're talking about in the ag industry, we're talking about, we talk about these guys, we're talking about farmers, right?
Yes, correct.
And maybe outside, do you do anything outside of farms? Do you do maybe like any turf or any of that kind of stuff, or just strictly kind of with farms?
Yep, we strictly focus on row crop agriculture. Yep.
Okay. And then what do you do on the daily in terms of like what does your day look like? Do you have a schedule that kind of like a almost like a route that you do depending on who signs up and schedules you?
Mm-hmm.
How does that work?
So we're actually a pretty easygoing company where we work at. So
well, good for you. That's awesome.
Not every day is the same.
Okay.
So and it kind of depends on the season. So right now is actually kind of our slow time. All the guys are out planting right now. They're doing field work. They're spraying. We don't really want to bother them at this time. So this is the kind of time where we kind of back away from talking to guys. We'll go out and kind of walk fields, and we'll dig up seed to make sure that their planting depth is correct, and just kind of try to scout a little bit, but for the most part, kind of stay out of their way and let them do their thing. Once it gets to kind of late summer, that's when we want to start going and talking to guys, start kind of refreshing their mind about getting soil testing done, and kind of what fields we need to focus on this year. And then of course fall right after harvest is when we start pulling some late hours. We're out in the field testing and pulling samples and stuff too. So it kind of just depends on the time of the year and what our schedule looks like and how busy we are.
So you kind of can expand and contract depending on the needs of the farmers and that sort of thing.
Exactly.
Seasons. Okay.
Yep.
In terms of, let's talk a little about soil sampling.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly does that entail? For those of us who are not in ag and don't
Mm-hmm.
understand, I mean, soil is very important, right?
Mm-hmm.
What exactly are you looking for? What do you do if things are not what they should be?
Mm-hmm. So I always feel like soil is probably one of the most important things you can do for your farm. It's the first thing the seed sees, in my opinion. So when we test the soil, what we're looking at is deficiencies in nutrients that the seed or plant might need for its life stage or life cycle. And we also look at excesses too. Sometimes an excess of a nutrient can be just as detrimental as a nutrient that's deficient. We like to look at the balances of the soil, and like I said, just kind of seeing where the nutrients are at, where the pH is at, and try to make that soil the best healthy living condition for that seed and that plant throughout the life cycle of it.
Okay, so it's really important. I mean, this is almost kind of like, depending on what you all find and what you all recommend and do, kind of determines how successful the crop's going to be that year.
Yes.
So it seems really important and a good investment for the farmers.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of Element Ag, is soil sampling the main thing that they do, or do they do other things? They have other branches?
So no, we usually only do soil sampling. We are kind of the one-stop shop when it comes to soil testing. We go out and talk to guys and try to get a plan for their soil testing, and then we will do the mapping, and then we'll of course go out and pull the soil test or the soil, and then we'll bring it back to our own lab, test it, we write our own recommendations, and then we actually go to the grower, deliver their recommendations and results straight to them, sit down, talk through the whole book, and make sure they understand kind of what they're looking at. That's kind of the biggest difference between Element Ag and most soil testing labs, most third-party pollers. Most of the time it ends up going through too many different hands, and we feel like sometimes the information could get lost. We just feel like the way we do it, the one-stop shop kind of thing, is, I guess, beneficial for the grower.
Maybe more convenient.
Yeah.
And just time saving.
Yep.
And just one and done.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yep.
And so I'm hearing a lot of stuff. I'm hearing that you're out in the field, in the farm, doing that work, manually pulling that soil sample. I'm hearing you're going to the lab and running tests and maybe some chemistry involved in that. And then you're also writing a report. So you have written communication, and probably you'll meet back with the farmers and have verbal communication.
Communication, I think, is the absolute most important skill that you could have in really any sales or role, or most of your agriculture.
It seems like, again, there's a lot riding on what you all do. Communication, both verbal and nonverbal, soft skills in general are just super important to all employers these days. And again, those are, you can learn anything, but those are the things that are more ingrained in you, that are harder to learn than those hard skills. Drop this lever, stick this in the ground, pull it back up. You can teach those things a lot easier. Tell me a little bit about your background. Did you come from a farming agriculture background? What was your education? How did you get to this job?
Yeah, so I started working on my grandpa's farm when I was probably 15, and really loved it. Enjoyed every day, enjoyed all aspects of it. So I worked on the farm all the way through high school and college. High school, so I graduated in 2011.
Century?
Yes. Century.
Shout out to Century.
Yep, Century High School, yep. And then I ended up getting a scholarship here at Shawnee College, an agriculture scholarship.
Shout out SEC.
That's right. And so yeah, then went through Shawnee for 2 years, and then transferred to SEMO.
Okay.
And ended up getting a bachelor in ag business and plant and soil science. And while I was at SEMO, actually, even at that time, my thought was, I'm just going to go back to the farm. I love doing it, enjoyed it, so I'm just going to go back to the farm and kind of, be happy with that. And actually, while I was at SEMO, some mutual friends, sitting around talking, and I don't know, I guess we got on the subject of what we plan to do after college. And someone had actually mentioned soil sampling, and I had heard a little bit about it, but I had never really done much, much studying or looking up at it. And anyway, I got out of college, got hired on by a retail business right out of college, and it was kind of a step that I felt like I needed to take, instead of just being on the farm. And I needed to, I think, do something different, just to try something out, kind of my thought was. So anyway, did that, and we were kind of looking to expand in different ways in this retail business, and I thought, I really would like to try this soil sampling thing out. So ended up kind of creating the soil sampling part of that business, and we ended up getting it up and going pretty good. Unfortunately, a few years later, they ended up kind of having to close their doors. So I ended up taking the soil sampling business with me. We kind of made a deal that I was going to take all the customers. So I started my own soil sampling business, and did that for several years. As kind of a side job, though it wasn't quite enough to be full time or anything. And anyway, make a really long story short, I was kind of looking for something different. I wanted to grow the soil sampling, but needed to do something different, take it in a different direction. So I actually ended up reaching out to Element Ag, the lab, just to use them as a lab. I thought it's a closer source, maybe I can get some better information, really try to figure out how to grow this business. And they said, hey, actually, we're looking for somebody to kind of be in that area. Would you mind, come up here and talking? Let's see if we can just have you on our team. And I learned a bunch with this company. Enjoyed it a lot, so it was kind of a no-brainer to jump on board with them, and
The rest is history.
the rest is
That's
history.
awesome.
Yeah.
Where is Illinois Ag located?
Centralia.
Centralia, Illinois. Okay.
Yep.
And so, again, it sounds from what you're saying, you didn't just graduate from college and get this job at Illinois Ag. I mean, this was a process.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and with the first company that you were with, you, if I understand correctly, you actually helped form that branch of
Mm-hmm.
the soil sampling. They didn't have that before you got there.
Yep.
So you were involved with the learning, and then you took it with you and kind of ran it on your own for a little while, then reached out to them. So how big of an impact do you think the prequel, the experience that you had brought with you to Element Ag? I mean, is that just huge?
Absolutely. Any type of experience that I've ever had in the past has definitely put me into the position I am now. And I'm still learning a lot. Still got a lot to learn when it comes to soil testing, when it comes to knowing what's in the soil. I've got a lot to learn when it comes to communication, and I feel like I'm pretty good at it. You know, I take pride in what I do, and I'm probably too much of a people pleaser at times, but I still have a lot to learn. So yeah, everything I've done in the past has got me to this point now, but I'm still not where I need to be.
Well, and it's one of those things where the more you learn you don't know.
Exactly.
And then, that's almost the wisdom of learning more. For students that are interested in doing something like you're doing, is there a specific way, because you're based out of Centralia, but you're around the Southern Illinois, Western Kentucky, Southeast Missouri region. Is there any place to go specifically to find different ag businesses that they might be able to be employed by that aren't necessarily located here but have regional people here?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's definitely a shortage of help in the agriculture field. To be honest, to say that you'd be able to go out and get a position like mine where the headquarters is an hour and a half or 2 hours away. I'm sure you could. Honestly, I'm sure you could. I think I got lucky, to be honest. Feel blessed to have got this position. I've gotten lucky, but there's absolutely a shortage in the ag field. I don't think it would be difficult to find a job somewhere. But I feel like I have the perfect job right now, but it took me quite a few jobs in between to get there. So I feel like just getting your foot in the door in any type of retail business or any type of agriculture field, sometimes you just have to be the low man on the totem pole to get to the position you want to be.
Well, and also along with that, I mean, networking.
Absolutely.
The people that you've met along the way, super important in terms of creating good relationships with those people. I mean, how many of the same people are you working with now that you worked with before? Are any of those crossing over?
Oh yeah. I'd say probably 90% of them.
Yes. And so that was probably a big benefit to Element Ag when they said, hey, we're looking for somebody, and you've been working with a lot of people that we already have relationships with a lot of people that we want to service. So I mean, that's even better and helped in getting you that position probably as well. So now you have the job at Element Ag, but you also have your own company, right?
Yeah, just this year started Applied Ag LLC, and it's a drone spraying business, drone application business. So still very new to the industry on this, but I've kind of always been into the drone thing. I've bought just a drone that takes pictures of stuff several years ago, just to do field scouting and be able to look at the crops, and you can really see a lot from a bird's eye view instead of driving down the road and looking at it. And so yeah, always kind of been into the drones, and have been watching the drone application industry for several years now, and I felt like it's at the time now where it's time to jump in and do it. So my wife and I, we pulled the trigger on it, and it's been going good so far. Been staying busy. So
awesome. Well, and again, being in the industry and forming those relationships and having the trust of the farmers, you're probably dealing a lot with the same farmers that you're taking the soil samples for.
Absolutely.
And that's a good source of pool from for you to draw from as well. So again, trying to emphasize the networking and the importance of creating those good relationships and being a person of your word and having a good rapport within the industry and the community that you're working with is just super super important. Anything else about the ag industry or soil sampling that you would leave with anybody?
We've said it multiple times now, but just like you were saying, networking, communication, just making a good name for yourself and working hard. I feel like it's got me further than anything else I could have done, honestly. In a sales position or in a drone application business, you're not going to make it very far without customers to serve. So yeah, absolutely, networking, communication skills. I think that's the biggest thing you need to focus on, throughout your career.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. We appreciate your time. If you have any questions about soil sampling or element ag or the spraying industry, you can contact me at 618-634-3337 here at Shawnee College. You can send me an email at blakeg@shawneecc.edu. Hopefully I can answer your questions. If not, I'm sure Christian wouldn't mind. I can reach out to him and we can get you those answers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.